Hi, friends. Welcome to Exodus chapter 24. This is day 4. We are wrapping up the scripture for the week. And I hesitated on whether or not to turn the camera on today. I just feel like I don't quite have the words to share how God touched my heart. But I've turned it on. We're just going to walk through this in the inductive way that we normally do and see where we end up, okay? So I think it's best to begin asking those questions, just helping us slow down to observe what is in the passage. And the first question, you know what I ask, is the who. And today, really, the who is about the Lord and Moses. It's as if, we've been filming this mountain, and here's this whole cluster of people, all the leaders, the 70 elders of the people of Israel. But the camera zooms right in on Moses and the Lord. When is today's passage taking place? Well, we have to remember what we talked about yesterday. There was this great feast. There was a celebration of the blood of the covenant with God, that God and the people of Israel have made this binding oath to one another. God has invited the people to be his treasured possession, to be this kingdom of priests, this holy nation that will live out his glory amongst the nations. And the people, all with one voice, as we have seen, meaning one heart, one mind, have agreed. All the words that the Lord has given, we will do, they have said. So this is today's passage is taking place after the feast. And of course, where are they? They are at Mount Sinai. We've been at Mount Sinai for a while. We're going to be at Mount Sinai for a while. But the what takes place? Well, verse 12, we see the Lord give Moses 2 imperative commands. And I love these imperative verbs. They're usually important. Let's just say that. They're usually important. So the Lord said to Moses, number 1, come up to me on the mountain. And friends, I just got to say, there was something about this come up to me on the mountain. It's not just come up to the mountain, but come up to me. Friends, this continues to be about relationship and fellowship. Come up to me. Don't overlook those 2 little words, to me. The Lord is inviting Moses to himself, to his presence. This is about fellowship. This is about relationship. This is about connection. Don't we all want that? Don't we all want that? This is kind of what I can't put into words today after studying. Okay, so that was imperative number 1, come up to me on the mountain. Imperative number 2 was wait there. Wait there. And we probably all know what wait means, but I did look this up in my Bible dictionary to look at it in the original Hebrew language. And to wait means simply to be somewhere, to occupy a certain position or area. God is saying, I want you to just be with me and be ready to receive these tablets of stone. All right, I love that. Come up to me on the mountain and be there with me. I don't know. How do you put that into words? There's something about that touches my heart, that God invites us. Like, what do we learn about who God is? God is the one who does the inviting, right? Come, be with me. And friends, we have this great privilege to live on the other side of the cross, where we have heard Christ's words. We've heard the Son of God, God himself, saying, come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. Jesus doesn't say, come to me and do. He says, come to me and be. Okay, really, I probably could just turn off the camera right then and there. I sort of have goosebumps, but let's unpack this a little bit more. God gives Moses these two imperative commands: come up to me on the mountain, wait there, be there with me. Why? Let's ask that why question. God answers it: so that I may give you the tablets of stone with the law and the commandment which I have written for their instruction. Now, if we put on our ancient Near East glasses, we would understand that when covenants were made, they often involved blood. They almost always involve blood. They almost always involved a feast to celebrate and commemorate. And they almost always involved a legal document. So here it is, friends. Here's the legal document of the covenant written by God Himself. Isn't there's something beautiful about that? Let's not be afraid of these commands. As we've talked about before, this is of God. This is His grace. This is His mercy. He's invited the people to be His treasured possession, this kingdom of priests. And He doesn't leave them stumbling around in the dark to figure out how they now should think and live. No, He gives clear instructions on what that is to look like. And He is going to present this document that He Himself writes to Moses. Friends, this is all about fellowship. This is all about God's grace and His mercy and His steadfast love and really His presence with the people. That's what we see in the second paragraph, His presence on the mountain. We see, okay, if we ask the question, how do things play out then? Well, we see that Moses does go up the mountain after he gives some instructions to the elders and he puts Aaron and Hur in charge. Moses doesn't Moses, like God gives Moses instructions, tells him what to do, and Moses does it every time he does it. I love this about Moses. Wow, he is a man of faith. When God asks, Moses does. So Moses heads on up the mountain, and what do we see? Verse 15, that Moses went up the mountain and the cloud covered the mountain. All right, the cloud. Friends, to us, here's a definition of a cloud: a visible mass of water or ice particles suspended at a considerable altitude. And most of us, sometimes we grumble and complain about a cloudy day. Let's not. God's presence shows up here to the Israelites time and time again in the form of a cloud. We saw it back in Exodus 19:9. And the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak to you and may also believe you forever." We saw God's presence be in the form of a cloud all the way back in Exodus chapter 13, verse 21. Remember this? We all loved it. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. All right, here is the Lord's presence, and it is glorious. This word glory caught my attention. I put that in my keyword column. Friends, when I looked it up in my Bible dictionary, it means presence. The presence of the God of Israel, conceived of as His glory. So this cloud is synonymous with God's glory, with His presence. It's something. It's something. And we see in verse 18 that Moses enters the cloud. What's that a picture of? This is a picture of Moses entering into the very presence and glory of God Himself. It's also a visual of God receiving Moses into His presence. Oh, friends, there's something really beautiful about this mountain picture. about the cloud, about the presence of the Lord, and about this invitation that Moses has. And now Moses is in a mediator position. In a sense, he is a picture of Jesus Christ who is to come. But friends, we have this great privilege of reading this passage through the lens of Jesus Christ and understanding that God has invited all of us, all sinners, to come into his presence and just be. Oh, may we receive his invitation today.